1960, the province gave the universities utter control over their mandate. So until now, there's been no discussion about telling universities what to do. And that has led to some of these competitive issues, but it also has resulted in a lot of freedom to develop interdisciplinary programs and so forth. The Heckel report proposes that the methodology would be universities develop their own mission statements, submit them to the Ministry of Training Colleges and Universities, they be negotiated, then approved, and a set of deliverables or accountability measures would be agreed upon, and that funding would be directed according to those. So it certainly is a lot more involvement of the process. If there's not another question from the floor, yes?
I was just wondering how you see this kind of structure affecting the graduate programs and PhD programs, and whether those would have to be at, like, if they're like a health university, like would the med school have to be at the university? Is that how the businesses would be about that?
Any takers? Mary?
I have a I would point that kind of relates to your question, but doesn't answer it directly. Mostly because all the research I do is directly related to undergraduates. So I couldn't really answer that question. Like all the work we do is primarily through USA, which is the Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance. But something that's interesting to consider with graduate students, I recently came across this article in The Economist, and it was essentially saying how PhDs are becoming irrelevant. So I laughed a lot at that and then sent it to my brother because he's in the midst of doing a PhD. But essentially what it was saying is that graduate students are this phenomenal thing because you don't have to pay them very much, and you can make them work like 12 or 14 hours a day, and it's great. And people like to take advantage of this cheap research. And then when you finally get this very, very hard-earned degree, that there just aren't the jobs out there, that there's so many graduate students being spit out, but there's not enough jobs there. So we have to think about like reimagining our society, not just our educational institutions, because it's great that we have all these superbly educated people. But then if those educated people are going and taking jobs from people who could be getting things with a high school or an undergraduate education, and then those people aren't getting jobs, it just throws the whole system off. So like I said, that didn't really answer your question, but on the idea of graduate students, I just wanted to throw it.
Graduate studies is short-term slavery in times.
Can I just make a point, an item of history, that McMaster, several years ago, the vice president of curriculum, decided that we change the system. We have 4 different areas that we will concentrate on. One will be health, which has been mentioned. The other will be communications, which has been mentioned. I've forgotten what the other 2 are since I retired. I think my retirement was vital to the success of this program. Anyway, our department started hiring in religion and health. Sociology set up health, everything was connected to those particular programs. And the programs were decided according to which ones would draw research funds. So people doing basic science, so we out, but people who were doing how to make do heart operations or something like that were in. But at least those were decided academically in some form. But the model that we have ahead of us now is England. England is the place to watch for universities because they're setting up a system in which departments and specialties and so on are funded according to how many people, a department, a unit, or whatever it is able to employ, to get employment, which would cover the problem you mentioned of PhDs without employment.
Dr. Greenspan. Yes, Ruby. And then, yeah, quickly, and then we need to move on.
Yeah, I think some thoughts on top. Like, I am from Montreal, so like I don't really know Ontario too well, but I would say like I do see that as a concern because I think that's what goes back to the class size issue. Because let's say a university specializing in health sciences, those people are very likely to want to go to med school after. And I do wonder if med school is whether they'll ever expand in order to actually really take all these people. Because otherwise, it would be a concern to see what those people will end up doing if they can't get into med school, because it probably will get bigger. So in a way, I do see specializing as sort of not a very good plan. But in Quebec, we don't really have an association that covers all of the med schools, but are actively involved with this. So I'm not completely sure.
Our next question specialized, individuals with an interdisciplinary background and training may have an important function as intermediaries between various specialties. In light of this, is it likely that interdisciplinary training will become a new type of specialization for people whose job it is to bridge the gap between various disciplines? Are interdisciplinary students likely to become the new meta specialists? And we'll begin with Mary.
I think that there's definitely a lot of potential for this. It's not a secret to anyone that in the current environment, arts and humanities have a lot of difficulty attracting attention and getting the well-deserved recognition that they need. Medical sciences, engineering, science, and the value they provide to society is very obvious. If you look at Hamilton, for example, Hamilton investing in the health sciences has proved to be incredibly lucrative for the community. So you see very quickly how they create this tie between investing in something and the return they get on this. So it's heavily tilted towards the engineering, the sciences, health sciences. But the truth about our society is that the problems are multifaceted and they're multi-tiered. And so to tackle the really big challenges, like the challenges that threaten the continuation of our species, like poverty and like climate change, then you require that kind of holistic approach, that kind of interdisciplinary approach to things. And so what we need here, the point I want to make is that what society really needs is effective links between arts and science research goals. And this is the only way to really bring about that kind of change. So I think there's so much value in arts for art's sake, but there's also a lot of value that could help greater society understand that. And so the way to really save social sciences and humanities is to demonstrate its value to society. And in order to do that, you have to create these linkages to science and engineering-based research goals. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to sabotage the arts and take away the essence of what the arts is. Arts for art's sake can still exist, but just creating and better linkages between that and these goals. And what I can extrapolate from this is the people who need to do that are the interdisciplinary learners. So the people who can think laterally, who can go in between these two realms, are interdisciplinary learners. And that's where we come into the equation, is that we can essentially save the social sciences and humanities in the eyes of greater society and help them realize just how valuable these are in terms of the continuation of like, what we know as life and humans.
Thank you, Mary. Dr. Simmons.
I think the idea of a meta-specialist with an interdisciplinary background fits very well with one of the issues that we all face in today's society, which is simply complexity. Complexity of anything that we're doing, complexity in the team that we work in, complexity in the way that we receive
society where specialization. You see the wonderful Inuit films that we've been having over the years. One person does the magic, another one does the hunting, another one does the... There's not a problem, you know, to do different functions in a particular society. Why wasn't it a problem? Because there was a common culture, moral, political, and so on that everyone belonged to and nobody was worried about. Even in the Middle Ages, we had special functions. Now, why did this change? I'd say the first big change was the Protestant Reformation, where everybody was supposed to know the Bible. And everybody, therefore, was a specialist in the Bible. And in the modern world, we also believe that there's a common democratic culture that all of us should be aware of and informed of. And from the Enlightenment, we have the idea that there's a common body of knowledge that we should all do and that we should all know. And all of this is in conflict with super specialization. Now, what's the result? The result is, and people don't pay enough attention to this, that there's a general cultural suspicion, skepticism about specialization. You listen to economists talking about the economy, nobody knows a word of what they say. There is nobody agrees with them and nobody trusts them. Neil Ferguson made a very good point. There's a book that's now a runaway bestseller, The Story of Money, something like that. So he mentions in the book that the problem with economists, they don't know any history. So the particular specialization wrecks what the effectiveness of a particular field. When we come to medicine, no one is more jealous of their specializations than doctors, but now they're facing common problems like euthanasia, when somebody should die, abortion, all of this sort of thing. So they're thrown into the public realm. So the specialties by themselves aren't, I don't teach Leibniz, but there's a phrase from him, windowless monads. The specializations are all connected to a common culture. Now I think the function of a interdisciplinary program is to support and promote that common body of issues, politically, moral, and so on, that constitute our civilization. That's what I think the function of those programs are. I don't think that the idea of a super specialist who specializes in various things. In my experience, when you have people like this, it's only one person who specializes in several fields. Somebody will get a PhD in this and a PhD in that. But more now, we tend to work in teams. So I don't think that a super specialist coming from arts and science program is the same thing as specialists elsewhere. The arts and science or interdisciplinary program should have the function of promoting democratic ideals, pluralistic ideals, and something. So it's something qualitatively different from what specialized programs should be.
All of our panelists have raised very important points. There's a book by Martha Nussbaum. It's called Not-for-Profit, Educating for Democracy. And traditionally, the universities have focused on teaching and research. And the HECO report, you see a hierarchy being created in the proposed purposes for differentiation. Teaching, research, and then optionally, innovation, entrepreneurship, community development, and citizenship. And I think what our panelists suggest is that those are not optional. Those are areas of important specialization. One of the comments was made that it might be unlikely that someone who is a general specialist or a meta-specialist would be employable. I flipped a coin and decided where I would go for university. It was between arts and science at Mac and systems design engineering at Waterloo. And systems design engineering is an engineer that is designed to know a sufficient amount of a lot of things, not enough to be a specialist, but enough to communicate all of them together. So if it already exists within the engineering field, it's possible to imagine that it could exist in a broader field as well, which ostensibly is what arts and science is about. One further thought before I turn it over to the floor is imagine a minister. Minister John Barrett is currently the Minister of the Environment. That's why there's light on the ground in trees are shriveling up and wilting. This man does not have an environment background. And when we think about people who would be general specialists, you might think of policymakers. Traditionally, policymakers have needed to be Renaissance people, people who have sufficient experience enough to tell us how to live our lives, to govern. So I'm going to open the floor to questions, if there are any, for this question. Yes? Yeah.
But would it be possible for because I mean all the panels kind of agree on that, there won't be a specialization, specialized interdisciplinary specialization kind of per se. But isn't that what kind of management studies evolved from? I mean, at first you didn't have professional managers, and then at some point in time people realized, oh, there's certain kind of group dynamics you can learn, and so they have management schools now. And if you ask them kind of in terms of actual content, they don't know. Unlike biology or unlike history, there's no actual content there, at least in my feeling, but rather just kind of a wide sort of sociology kind of techniques, and they call it kind of management studies. Isn't it possible that kind of an interdisciplinary kind of gap bridge can go in this direction? I mean, right now we don't see that, there's a special thing for it. Maybe could it go towards that in the future?
Yes, maybe.
I feel that it's kind of difficult. It's kind of impossible, I would say, to know everything or even a little bit about everything. And I feel like that's sort of the profession you'd be talking about, because you're saying that this person would be able to mediate between anyone when there are different issues. And that's sort of, I feel like MD is a lot more specialized than this sort of meta specialist can provide. And it's kind of impossible to really know even just a little bit about every single thing that happens in one. So I would say MBA is more specialized, but this is not as easy.
You are an impossibility. Further responses? So Hubi is saying that it's impossible to know a little bit about everything. Hubi, are you saying that it's impossible to develop a foundation that allows you to be a node, a connection between various disciplines?